Hello there, thank you for tuning in to my 5th Monday Digest. I think I'm starting to get the hang of it, and every episode is becoming easier to produce. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please use the comment box below and let me know. If you like this content, then you know what to do. Now let's get started with the news. We have a lot. Let's talk about the Ukrainian conflict and how it has impacted digital marketing and technology last week. Before we get started, I want to mention that I'm involved in several charity projects aimed at helping Ukrainians. And soon I'll be able to talk about it more, so stay tuned and remember to subscribe. So, Google has rolled out a new feature for Google Business Profiles where you can now add additional attributes to your business. Accept donation, employs refugees, needs volunteers, offers free products or services. These additional attributes can be found under emergency help, but it doesn't seem to be available to all businesses and all industries at this stage. You can go and check it out and report back to me in the comments below. Obviously, this can help businesses who have participated in hiring or helping refugees stand out, which is a good thing in my opinion. PayPal is expanding its services in Ukraine and waiving its own fees for customers sending funds to Ukrainian PayPal accounts or receiving into Ukrainian PayPal accounts. On top of it, Ukrainian customers can transfer funds from their PayPal wallet to eligible MasterCard and Visa debit and credit cards. Ukrainian customers who have traveled to other countries to seek refuge will be able to access these services by establishing a Ukrainian PayPal wallet. Good guy PayPal. Thanks to the blocking of Facebook, Instagram and soon possibly YouTube, many have migrated to Russian state-controlled social network called VKontakte, in Russia that is. The social network is reporting record numbers of active users and decided to capitalize on this by bringing back ancient messengers called ICQ and MyTeams. Talk about reviving old dinosaurs. Not everything is perfect in the land of Russian social media though, as many communities have been limited or closed due to inappropriate rhetoric. The Telegram, on the other hand, was able to remain untouched by Russian government and is probably the most liberal social media currently in Russia. Bing now displays better search results for queries related to Russian invasion of Ukraine. Search result pages include opinions, timelines, and news. Separating news from opinions helps users get better understanding of the context and reduces the risk of misinformation. Timeline, on the other hand, helps better understand the sequence of events. I like Bing more and more these days, and I'm glad somebody is competing with Google. Go Bing! Mozilla Firefox removed Yandex and Mail.ru from its browser. They're basically Russian IT companies offering search engines, email services, news and more. Pretty much Russian version of Google. VPN usage skyrocketed in Russia after the Russian government decided to block Facebook and Instagram. There are already reports of government blocking VPN service providers in order to stop Russian citizens from accessing blocked websites. Probably the easiest way to get around this issue is to get a cheap virtual private service somewhere and run your own VPN. I know it's not a good solution for most people, but I'm sure someone will soon package it into a service and sell it for $5 a month or something. Slack is joining a long list of companies abandoning Russian market. On the March 7th, Slack announced that they will be complying with US sanctions and blocking access for Russian companies. So, as you see, a lot has happened in Ukraine, and I'll keep you up to date with everything that is relating to digital marketing and tech news. But now, let's move on. It's time for some SEO news. Google is potentially bringing back SMS messaging for Google business profiles. This feature was available before, but since has disappeared. Eagle-eyed Jeffrey Magner shared this screenshot on Twitter, where you can see that Google is at least testing out SMS notifications for business profile messages. Google Business allows customers to message business owners using Google Maps, and now you might be able to get notification that there are unread messages using SMS. Cool beans. Another observant Twitter user, Kushal Bherwani, spotted another new feature in local listings on Google. You will now be able to see which lists this venue appears on. For example, you might see a restaurant appear on a list such as top 10 restaurants in New York and so on. Lists are created by people, but Google is only sourcing information from public lists, as I understand it. If this gets rolled out globally, we might actually use this to our advantage in some way, but now we are in a wait-and-see mode, to be honest. Google on Wednesday announced that eligible hotels will be able to get additional visibility in Google search results. Hotel listings will appear in Google Search and Google Maps. This functionality builds on top of the free Google Hotel listing feature released last year. This could be a huge for hotels since people are slowly starting to travel, and we all know that PPC in the hotel industry is way too expensive. Let's end this segment with another Google-related news. The search engine giant has announced Search Central Virtual Unconference that will take place on April 27th. Unconference means that there will be no presentations, no speakers, and no official program. There will only be discussions from a diverse set of experts moderated by a facilitator. It's an online event and registrations open on March 30th, so set your reminders. I'm looking forward to this Unconference, and I'm curious to hear from SEO experts from all over the world. That's it for SEO. Let's move on. We don't have a lot of PPC news today, so let's go through it quickly. Microsoft Automotive ads get more placements and will roll out globally. You will be able to show automotive ads in Microsoft Audience Network, Microsoft Autos Marketplace, and Windows Search Bar. Yes, advertising is coming to Windows. I'm not too worried about it, as I'm sure there will be a way to block it on a system level, or hopefully Microsoft will let you opt out of this engaging and wonderful experience. Now, let's move on to another segment. Let's switch gears to social media now. A new study from Pew Research Center told us something that we already knew. 49% of US adults on Twitter qualify as lurkers, which means they consume content but don't produce it or participate actively. According to the study, most lurkers are 30 to 49 years old, visiting Twitter less frequently and post more replies than original tweets. What can you do with this information? Well, you might want to encourage people to reply to your tweets in order to drive engagement on Twitter. In another news, Mark Zuckerberg said that NFTs are coming to Instagram. I don't know if I should laugh or be upset about. It's too early to say how it will work, but I'm not looking forward to my feed being spammed by NFT ads and posts. That's it for social media. Let's move on. Let's talk about analytics. This week, Google has announced that Universal Analytics will stop recording new hits on July 1st, 2023. You will still be able to access your data for at least 6 months after that. I told you, this is coming, and here it is. Time to migrate everything you can migrate to Google Analytics 4. I personally like Google Analytics 4 and consider it to be a huge improvement, thanks to the better UI and overhauled events functionality. Are you going to miss Universal Analytics? Tell me in the comments below. Let's talk about latest tech news when it comes to digital marketing. You might love or hate WordPress, but it's the world's most popular content management system. They have finally released an official performance optimization plugin. I mean, it's only been like 10, 15 years? Everybody knows that setting up page caching is probably the first thing you do when you deploy WordPress site in production. The WordPress performance team released a beta version of their plugin and are asking for your feedback. The plugin is split into different modules, and you can pick and choose which functionality you need. You have WebP module that converts JPEG images to WebP format if your server supports it. WebP model that checks if your server supports new image file format. You have also object cache health check that suggests use of object caching in order to reduce loading time by caching information stored in the database. You also have audit in-queued assets module, which is marked experimental, so be careful, that provides an audit of CSS and JavaScript files on your homepage. In my opinion, there is no reason to move away from your current caching setup, since the performance plugin doesn't bring anything new to the table. And in my view, it lacks any features that would make me want to switch over. I hope it gets bundled with WordPress though, once it's stable, so more people can benefit from some basic level of optimization. Now let's talk about some other notable news that happened last week. The US decided to stay on permanent daylight savings time, DST, and this goes into effect in 2023. This means that many devices and pretty much all operating systems and software will need to be updated in order to take this change into account. It might not be Y2K type of a problem, but it's a nuisance, that's for sure. I live in Finland, where daylight savings allows me to adapt better to winter, so I'm glad it's here. Whew, that was a lot of news. Let's end it on a lighter note. Did you know that Ukrainian President Zelensky was a comedian before his political career? Many do know this, but thanks to Netflix, you'll be able to see his TV show called Servant of the People, where he plays the President of Ukraine. Here's a short clip from the trailer. Enjoy.
Весь двор, мой приговор. Слуга народа.
It's weird experience knowing that he actually became the president of Ukraine, and an awesome one at that. Well, anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time.